no CGI is really just invisible CGI. All right, let's check it out.
Despite the visual effects credits on Hollywood films being longer than ever before, if you are to believe the filmmakers, they're also using less CGI than ever before.
No one else in the world is doing this level of practical filmmaking, and it may never be done again.
Everybody loves practical filmmaking.
Yes, practical effects are amazing. I always say, practical effects, you use practical effects, and then you add on. You practical effects first, and you just make that explosion just a little bit bigger. You have a character in makeup, just make the seams seamless. That simple.
That's what the studios are giving you.
Aviation film like this has never been done, and chances are it will never be done again.
It's very important to me that it be practical.
One of these days, they're gonna put no CGI was used in the making of this film in the credits, right above no animals were harmed in the making of this film, because that's how important it is for them that you know that they used no CGI.
Actually, it's AI. The fact that like people will get up in arms if AI is used in something and they're not told in advance that AI is used, like Expedition 33. People didn't really care that AI was being used in the dialogue because guess what? The actors signed off on it and they were told, everyone knew in advance, oh, AI was used in a bit of the voices here. Okay. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. But when it came to like, what is it? Black Ops? Yeah, Black Ops 7. They had AI in their images and everything, and everyone was up in arms because nobody mentioned they're supposed to be a AAA company, and Expedition 33 is Clair Obscur, which is a smaller company, and they were upfront with their AI, yet a huge company, Activision, was not upfront. It just, people were up in arms. It was ridiculous.
Hi there. My name is Jonas, and I have been making visual effects for film and TV for 18 years, and in this 4-part video series, we'll be taking a look at all the no CGI there is in Hollywood films today.
Oh.
And that is a lot of no CGI. So stick around, it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm saving the best for last.
So that'll be in part 4, I'm guessing.
Before we start, let's get one thing straight. It's fairly easy to agree we all like practical better, isn't it?
Yes! Yes! How many times have I said that? Every time I see this stupid CGI put in a ridiculous Indian film, and I'm just like, why was that there? You guys could have just gone to a set. You could have just gone to a set, but no, they're on a green screen. Everyone wants to copy Disney, even though Disney's sinking in the water right now.
Ignore the music and take a look at these car stunts.
Oh yeah, nice. Dukes of Hazzard.
Now compare them to these car stunts.
Yeah, the second one. Fast and Furious. No, not this one. I don't know what film that is.
These car stunts are meant to be impressive because the car jumps a really long distance, but the 2 bridge stunts were real and the 2 building-to-building stunts were CGI. So what's impressive about that? A CGI car can jump as far as you want it to. It can jump from house to house, from skyscraper to skyscraper, from city to city. Hell, it could even fly into space. That doesn't impress me because I know CGI cars can do anything. So practical is better, right? It's not so simple. Hang on.
Hey, don't go back on it.
Top Gun Maverick blew people away with its practical approach to filming dogfights where everyone else uses CGI. Tom Cruise, director Joseph Kosinski, DOP Claudio Miranda worked closely with aerial photographer Kevin LaRosa to film everything for real.
That's ground photography, mounted camera platforms, whether they're internal or external on the F-18s, we used both. It's helicopter and it's jet to jet.
And this is crazy stuff. It has never been done before and it looks amazing.
Top Gun is a movie about getting it in camera.
That looks great.
And there's not a single mention of CGI or visual effects in any of these documentaries.
This is not just green screen nonsense.
And why would there be? Tom himself said in a 2015 interview,
a possibility of a Top Gun 2, am I hearing that? Is this happening?
Well, we got to do all the jets practical. No CGI in the jets. I'm saying right now, no CGI in the jets.
That's it. No CGI on the jets. Social media was flooded by people raving about the complete absence of CGI in such a major spectacle film. News outlets and media like IGN were quick to pick up the
Because it
story
looked
and report
amazing.
on it like this.
In an age where computer-generated special effects reign supreme in cinema, Top Gun Maverick is a Mach 10 breath of fresh air.
Production company Skydance even tweeted "no CGI here" to confirm, I presume, that there is no CGI in the film. But with 400 VFX names in the credits, that's a lot of no CGI, isn't it? It turns out a lot.
I'm pretty sure that a lot of the scenes, since they were not going to do those plane flights several times, so it was probably just one time, cameras mounted on every single thing, and then you have to go in and remove the cameras.
A lot of the aircraft they filmed practically were not the aircraft you see in the final film. Instead, they filmed these L-39 stand-in jets, painted them gray, and added tracking markers so they could be used for lighting reference and tracked, essentially using
Hide the
them as a
cameras.
flying anti-circus to be completely replaced with CGI. So how many jets are CGI and how many are real? The Darkstar was made available to the production as a full-size mock-up, but it didn't fly, so it's completely CGI, either tracked onto a stand-in jet or animated by hand. The good old F-14 doesn't fly anymore, it's all CGI. The enemy's 5th generation fighters, they don't exist. They're all CGI, either tracked onto other stand-in jets or animated by hand. Which means that in the entire dogfight at the end of the movie, you're watching 100% CGI airplanes because none of these planes exist.
No CGI in the jets.
There's no information about this in the bonus material on the Blu-ray or in any of the online documentaries about
What the
film.
heck?
But the film's editor, Eddie Hamilton, has uploaded a walkthrough of the film's timeline on YouTube, and he's pretty open about the visual effects.
The edit notes track is something where I put a subcap on and I type in useful things that the VFX department might need to know.
And there you have it. The entire dogfight at the end of the film is filmed and edited exclusively with these grey L-39 jets, with notes from the editor to the VFX team about which CGI jets to replace them with.
You know, there's a lot of visual effects in this movie.
That's okay. It's basically like having a person in a tracksuit, like, you know, those tracksuits that you have to adjust for to have a character move. I mean, that's how the entire Cats movie was made, but that's a whole nother debacle. Something that's solid is easier for an animator than something that has fur. Let's just put it that way. So something like this, I don't think is a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing because you're still having the jets there. You're still having the situations actually take place. Sure, there are, it's kind of like, oh, that wasn't the real fighter jet that I thought it was, but it's fine. It's fine.
And you may not realize what the visual effects are because they're kind of invisible.
The F-18s were made available to the production from the Navy, and they are somewhat real in the film, but VFX supervisor Ryan Tudhope would say in an interview with VFX Voice, "Typically we shot those with 1 or 2 F-18s and added the other F-18s in those formations. And that means that in all these shots you're watching some real F-18s and some CGI F-18s, and I can't tell you which is which because you can't tell the difference." In the shot when they all come through the valley and the vapor trails are going off and rush under the camera, that was one jet. And we added multiple jets doing the same thing. They also used CGI jets for safety reasons when jets get too close to each other.
Yep.
Tudhope would also explain to Ian Fales from Befores and Afters, "We determined early on through various tests that adding other jets in formation out of the canopy windows was something we could do convincingly in VFX, further reducing the already very small amount of real jets left in the film." But what about the cockpit scenes? They're real, we saw them film that, didn't we? Yes, they filmed all that stuff for real and it's amazing, it looks great, and they got some G-force stuff that they couldn't have gotten any other way. But they still did CGI changes to those shots on the interior, the exterior, the canopy, the environment, leaving some shots with the pilot as the only practical element left in the shot and everything else as CGI.
Of course.
You'll notice in the documentaries that they never say they don't use CGI, they just keep repeating that they filmed everything practically, which they did, so it's technically not inaccurate.
But that's the thing. Again, they used the practical. They made something real. And then what did they do? They used CGI to just give it a little bit extra sparkle. It's like if an American gives you a bland dish, you just add some spice on top of it. That's what CGI is supposed to be. That extra spice that you put on top of a very bland dish. It's not supposed to be the dish itself. Nobody just eats a packet of Maggie. You do? Okay, other than my wife, most people don't just eat a packet of Maggie. No, Maggie is used as an addition to something. Put it in noodles, put it in something you want to eat. That's what CGI is. The pack of Maggie. Practical effects is the actual meal you're taking. So it makes sense. They're using it to spice it up. So I don't see it as a bad thing because they still had the actual thing there.
So what I told you was true from a certain point of view.
But why? Why go through all this trouble of filming the most elaborate and amazing aerial photography ever filmed, only to use it as essentially the world's most expensive animatic for what ends up being nearly entirely digital aerial scenes?
Control. It's to control it. Especially with something like this, if you're using just a placement plane and you CGI something in later, you have full control of the quality of the plane. You have full control of the frames. You have full control of all that. When you have something speeding through the frame, it's going to be blurry. You're not going to get it as crystal clear as you want, and it's going to take away. So they do it just because they have more control. It makes sense.
The phrase is grounded in reality. By filming real aircraft from real aircraft, not only do you have great lighting reference for the CG aircraft you're going to insert, they also move like the real thing. Unlike these clips from the movie Stealth, which has great CGI for being almost 20 years old, it's just pretty obvious that no real aircraft actually did this. You could certainly call this overkill because animators and CG artists can create shots like that without the practical photography, but by filming the entire film practically and editing it like that, you're forcing the cinematic language of aerial photography to persist through the entire post-production. And it definitely shows in the final film because all the scenes feel real even when they're 100% CGI. Strongly conflicting with the all-practical marketing approach.
And everything you see in this film, obviously it's for real. All of the flying that you see in this picture, everything is real.
Top Gun Maverick earned an Oscar nomination for its...
That technically is true if you think about it, because the planes were flying. Sure, they weren't the actual planes that were flying, but the planes were flying. So it is real, again, like Obi-Wan Kenobi said, from a certain point of view.
2,400 visual effects shots, and the only guaranteed real airplane left in the film is the one with the Lady Gaga song.
So bright tonight.
I'm gonna be honest, I still haven't seen that movie. I love the first one. At that Top Maverick house, I stayed in that as a child. Me and my family, my extended family would all go there for a holiday for 1 week every summer. And we stayed in that house, like 12, 15 of us, all in that tiny little house. We all stayed in there. Yeah, I got pictures and stuff of being on that porch with my grandmother. Yeah, but actually, I think I have a picture of the entire family in front of it. We were all little kids because they tore that thing down. But I still haven't seen the second one. I still haven't seen Top Gun Maverick. I've always wanted to, but it's like one of those things where it gets to the point where it's like, it's too late. It's too late. It'll probably be a few more years and I'll be like, you know what? I'm ready to watch it. Because I knew Goose wasn't in it.
Stranger Things uses a lot of CGI, but for the season 4 villain Vecna, according to the official Netflix Geeked Twitter account, they used no CGI. His look was all practical. As demonstrated in this video that shows the very time-consuming process of applying the makeup to the actor.
Voldemort.
This makeup looks fantastic. And when people see that video, they'll say, that's it, no CGI, case closed. I can see it right there, it's all makeup. As usual, people raved in the comments that Vecna looked great.
Like I said, didn't I bring this up before? I exclusively said, like, you have them in a suit and you use CGI just to close in the seams. Just to make it look a little more oily, a little more, greasy, a little more alive, a little more bloody with like this guy. That's just how it's supposed to be used.
Because he was practical and that CGI could never look this good. And they encouraged other studios to take note so we could have more practical effects like Vecna. But take a look at Rodeo Effects' visual effects breakdown from Stranger Things Season 4 because Vecna is CGI. Now, the cool part about filming the actor in full makeup as opposed to a grey mocap suit is that 1. The VFX artist can decide on a shot-per-shot basis how much of the original they want to keep and how much they want to replace with CGI, and 2. Even the parts that are completely replaced with CGI they have great lighting reference for exactly what it's supposed to look like. You can see they keep as much of the practical footage as possible, replacing as little as they have to in order to maintain the actor's performance. But since his body is covered in slithering snakes, at the end of the day, most of him is CGI.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think by now that...
But you get the lighting. You get everything you need there. That's just how CGI is supposed to be used. Exactly. That's exactly accurate. Completely accurate.
There's some kind of a trench warfare going on between practical effects and digital effects. But this isn't the case. Here's Vecna's makeup designer Barry Gower.
As a practical effects department, we tend to work very closely with digital effects. A lot of the best effects achieved now in TV and film are a combination of the two.
Smart guy. The entire CGI versus practical debate is something the audience has invented out of sheer ignorance about how movies are made.
Yes, exactly. That's why I've always said you need to have a location. You need to have it. Yeah, I've said this several times. I'm just gonna... But yeah, it's just common sense. To anyone who's studied film and knows film like I have, it's just common sense. Just like if you're having a male-dominated franchise, you use a male-dominated voice for the song. I'm gonna keep digging at those Durandar people. I'm gonna keep digging at them. They're complete idiots. But whatever.
Geek has since taken their nonsensical tweet down, but the story still lives on media out there like Unilat. Stranger Things team confirms no CGI was used to create Vecna's full body. It would be easy to assume the Stranger Things creators had used the magic of CGI to create the villain Vecna, but they have since confirmed his look was entirely practical. The creators assured computer-generated imagery, aka CGI, wasn't necessary for Vecna's look. That's a lot of no CGI and rodeo effects this breakdown reel.
I don't get it. I guess it's because some people just can't understand. They don't understand film, that they just have to lump them together. It's like as two separate things. It's not like, oh, this is the primary source of something. It's like most people don't understand cooking in the West either. Let's just be honest. They don't understand cooking, so you can't use analogies for them. Durandar had man songs, bro. It had a female singer, and her voice does not match the tone. I'm gonna be honest; it just doesn't. It doesn't. If you had a man singing the song, it would have hit. But other than that, I mean, I'm just honest. From a filming standpoint, you don't do that. It just takes you out. You show a ton of dudes, you show a ton of action, and then you have a high-pitched woman singing, and it's just like, whoa. But yeah. I mean, it just like you have to come at it from a filming standpoint. And a lot of people just don't understand. They think CGI bad, but then again, everyone praises CGI for some apparent reason. It's just like, no, it's a Band-Aid. You put it on top of it. It's not the actual ointment that covers the wound. It's a Band-Aid. But it's just, oh my gosh. It's just, oh my gosh. I don't understand. But that's the thing. It's like people get on these fences about things. Like they pull out picket signs and will riot. It's just like, don't you eat actual food? Do you like salt and garlic and pepper and cumin in your dishes? Or do you just like eating your meals plain? I mean, that's always how I've seen things. You have to mix. You can't have something just alone, but it's like, oh, practical effects good. CGI bad. No, practical effects great. CGI on top of it even better.
The original Blade Runner is an absolutely pivotal film in the history of visual art.
For Blade Runner 2049, Weta Workshop built these fantastic miniatures.
The idea of being able to use miniatures in this modern context, that's very exciting.
If you think he looks familiar, it's because geeks like you remember him from the bonus material for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which he earned 2 Oscars for.
The complete set of Ministerials
they built
was 7 meters tall and 6.5 meters in diameter. It's an enormous structure.
Miniatures are awesome. Visual effects people love to work with places that have miniatures in them. We love miniatures. And the work here is amazing. But by including only the documentary about the model work and the bonus features of the film's releases, the studio is forgetting to tell you that the majority of the cityscapes in this film are digital. Like all these shots of Los
Again, you just needed something for it to track.
Angeles. This is the digital Las Vegas. Every single shot in Las Vegas is just mind-blowingly beautiful, and the attention to detail here is just as good as on the miniatures. Even the scrapyard, also shown as a miniature, was digital in a lot of the film, and it looks just as good. Once again, collaboration between practical and digital is key here. The digital
and you got to keep into account that it is also the fact that it's buildings. Again, if you go to like cats, that's hair, it just comes off creepy because it's something that's moving, it's alive, it's flowing. Buildings, planes, things that are more solid in nature are just so much easier to animate, and it's easier to track because it's a solid structure. If it's something that's moving like a piece of grass, it becomes more difficult, of course. But in the end, it's just like you have to make it easier for them. So even having a practical effect or practicals does help them in the long run because it gives them the shadowing and shading and everything that they could possibly want. Of course, you can do that in CGI because, again, I've done that, where you put the sun off in a distance and you can see where the shadows are cast. The problem is the shadows don't actually match the way the world actually is. You can take a model outside to the type of sun you want or the clouds you want or whatever, if it's night out, and just see how the moon is casting on the silhouettes. More realistic than having a fake sun or a fake moon in a CGI studio. It's just more honest to have something out in real life. It's just more real, and that's why it does come across when we're watching it. We can notice a difference.
Scrapyard may look just as good as the practical scrapyard, but probably only because they had the practical scrapyard as reference. So how much in the final film is digital and how much is practical of the scrapyard? I don't know, because I can't tell the difference. Fast 5 is often described as the film that brought the Fast franchise back to its practical roots with the vault heist.
What? Practical roots? The movie was about cars in the beginning and racing. And the CIA operative trying to figure out and get Dorito, the family guy, family, to just whatever it is. It's okay, whatever. It's a heist. I've never been a big fan of Fast and Furious, but whatever.
And if you look at the number of VFX artists on the film, they did dial back a little bit from the fourth film, even though the 400 VFX artists did a fair share of CGI on the film, including the vault chase. Since then, every film in the franchise has advertised itself as the return to practical effects, even though Fast 7 and 8 passed more than 1,000 visual effects artists, containing more CGI cars than the actual Pixar movie Cars.
You gotta be kidding me.
If you still think the Fast franchise favors practical action over CGI, here's a quick checklist of the kind of digital effects you'll find in a Fast film. Anything cars do with cables. Dense traffic. It's easier to shoot without it and add it in post. Actors in cars are on blue screen. Cars that flip in weird ways. Anything silly. Small-scale destruction. Large-scale destruction.
So everything.
And just cars, really. Fast X was no different.
The heart and soul of the Fast and Furious franchise, boots on the ground, on location.
Still haven't seen that movie.
Reporting that Fast X returns to practical after ridiculous F9. Fast X.
They keep saying that. I don't know why. Why not just be honest? People will go see that crap movie anyway. Just be honest. They don't care. Most of those people who watch it don't even read. They don't care.
Director Louis Leterrier confirms the franchise will return to practical action.
To push the envelope, that meant going practical. The streets of Rome with that ball was built practically. It was a 1.2 ton metal orb that we rolled down the streets.
And you know what? They really did that. They rolled a 1-ton bomb through the streets of Rome, and the result is amazing. And you should know by now this is the part where I'll tell you about the CGI. You see how the prop bomb is rigged so it rolls nicely around this axis, but the one in the film is always tumbling in funnier angles? And also side by side, the one in the film doesn't actually look like the prop. Yes, DNA completely replaced the ball with the CGI ball, and every set piece in the film has great visual effects by multiple VFX vendors. And even though they certainly dialed it down since F9, there's still more than 600 artists and 1,000 VFX shots in Fast X.
I'm so impressed with how much practical stunt work goes into this film.
That's right, and you should be, because no matter how much of the practical work was completely replaced with CGI, this is another great example of practical and digital working together, special effects and visual effects. By filming every scene with the practical bomb, not only did everybody on set, actors and the DOP, etc., have something actual to react to, but more importantly, the editor had the ball in all shots. So the editor could completely time the entire sequence without having to wait for every single shot to go to the visual effects department for a temp animation. And also the practical footage provided a perfect lighting reference for DNEG for the CGI ball. But when you have an action sequence that relies on VFX just as much as it relies on practical, and there's not a single pixel of the original practical prop left in the film, because it's been all replaced with CGI, and all the director can say is this:
everything is done for real. It's a 1-ton metal bomb that we roll. Keep it real, keep it practical. And what we did, actually, we did this for real.
I think that's a problem. I think the studios are...
Again, they do that because they know people will cheer them on for saying that. It's just like the whole thing with CG, or not CGI, AI. Oh, there was no AI in the making of this thing. Yay! 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 It's just like CGI artists, they need a job. It's just you're taking away for the practical. Just be honest. We utilize both practical and CGI for the making of this film. We mesh the two. Just be honest. A lot of people will be, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. I've never heard that before. Because the idiots either say, oh, this is practical, or they say it's a 99% CGI, the first ever 99% CGI film. If you know the reference I'm making, you've been here for a while. The 99% CGI film is the only one ever made. It's just like, no. They're always a mix. It should always be a mix. It's a balance. It's a balancing act.
Contractually preventing the directors from mentioning CGI when they talk about how they made the movies. Blink twice if the studio is holding you hostage. The problem is that media catch up on these stories and they report them back to you. Here's YouTube tabloid Ossa having no clue what they're talking about.
They make the impossible things possible by using practical effects. For example, the sequence where the bomb rolls through the bus on the street had little to no CGI.
So what's going on? Why are studios covering up their use of CGI as if it was mafia money? Stunt performers will know exactly what I'm talking about, as they constantly have to read in the news that some actor they just dubbed on an action movie apparently did their own stunts. The YouTube channel The Fast Saga published this video about the epic fight between Cypher and Letty and Fast X, focusing entirely on the actors' work, thereby simultaneously overlooking the stunt people that worked on the scene and the CGI people that put the CGI faces on the stunt people. If you thought watching directors and actors dance around the topic of CGI as if it was cursed was toe cringing and embarrassing, whatever you do, don't hit like and subscribe, because what I have in store for the next 3 videos is much worse.
Oh my gosh. I like that. I really like that. Because that's the thing. It's a balancing act. It's always a balancing act. It's you have to be able to know what you're trying to make. In the end, it's the end result. What do you need? What exactly do you need? If you want a nice action sequence, how can you balance it? Is it easier? Because you have to talk with the practical effects artists. You have to talk with the animators. You have to talk. You can't just be, let's just put everyone in one of those gray suits with polka dots on it and then have it all fixed in post. It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't work like that. So I did like this. I did like this. I had to put a like on it because that is just hilarious. Honestly, the fact that people sell things as it because they just can't believe it. They can't fathom. Their brains don't work that way. They just don't. I don't understand how not. I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious that it should be used to just make something look nicer. That's it. That's it. But yeah, I did like that. I did like that. I did like how they referenced a lot of movies, some of which I have actually seen. I haven't seen Fast X. I have not seen Maverick. Of course, Top Gun Maverick. I probably do need to check that out. Actually, I absolutely have to check that out. Even my friend says, oh, it's absolutely amazing. And he never even saw the first one.
You guys got a video? forget to like and subscribe.
Wait a second.